Hello? Over here. Over here. Maybe I should get a little bit closer. Yeah, there we go. Hang on. One sec. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name's Dalia, and today we're on my brand new jungle abandoned city island Solitude, working on my first build, which is my entrance, obviously. As you guys can probably tell by the title of the video, we're working on a really fun build today, and I'm super excited to start this island, so I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, all that fun stuff. So without further ado, let's get started. I would like to begin by saying that this entrance build is hugely inspired by Nina Tries here on YouTube and on Twitch. She made this amazing collapsed highway build last year around Christmas, and ever since I saw that build, I wanted to make my own version of it. So today that's what we're doing. As I mentioned, this is an abandoned jungle island, so it's a city island that's kind of just been overrun with jungle. It's very overgrown, very run down, so kind of a mix between abandoned and natural. I'm really excited, and to be honest, I've been kind of putting off doing this build simply because I was a little bit intimidated at the thought of having to do this build, and trying to replicate basically what I saw from Nina's video, but also trying to make it my own. I kind of struggled with how to begin doing that, so I downloaded this code by Colin Crossing. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. This is actually a code that I did not include in my code shopping stream that we did last week, just because I didn't think I was going to be using this code, but to be honest, this one kind of started the whole, basically started the build, so I don't know why I even thought not to download it. It is a very big code, as you guys can tell. So I'm not gonna lie, it's a little intimidating. I did struggle a little bit with putting it down. One of the other reasons I was kind of putting off working on this build, but essentially I kind of just started off very basic. I placed a nice little kind of dock at the entrance, which I thought was kind of nice, and then I'm kind of starting with the pathing. I do break this up a lot in this build because this is a rather big build. As you see, I already placed the placement for the highway that's going to be collapsed at the front there, so I kind of was just kind of fiddling with how I wanted everything to be placed and everything. It kind of took me a while to kind of envision of how I wanted this build to really take shape. So after a couple days of debating it, I finally was just you know what, you have to just press record and try. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. And if it's horrible, you can delete everything and nobody has to know. I will promise you now that I didn't delete anything, and that this was just my first effort of trying to make this work, and I'm kind of in love with the way that it turned out. Like I said, I break up a lot of the footage of the path placement. If you guys want to see a more in-depth video or tutorial or something, maybe even on stream watching me place this path, please let me know. But for today, we had two very complicated paths to work with, so I kind of just broke it up the best that I could, just to make sure that the video wasn't, an hour and a half long. This was about 3 hours of footage broken up into about a 20-minute video, so I tried my best. I hope that you guys like it nonetheless. So now I'm putting these simple panels down. This is going to be kind of like the concrete side of the highway, essentially. And what I do for the highway build is we're going to be placing a broken down abandoned road path on the top of the cliff later on, and you'll kind of see I kind of go around different areas of the build. Essentially, if you've watched any of my videos in the past, this is what I typically tend to do when it comes to a lot of my videos, just because I get kind of overwhelmed sometimes with certain areas and I move on and then come back and forth. So kind of to create this more abandoned, rundown, illusion. I'm using the ruined decorative pillars. I also debated using the stone arches, and I might have to go back and use them, but I'm kind of just creating this illusion that the highway is kind of a broken down building, broken down walls, it's overgrown, there's moss and vines with the arches and everything. You can kind of get the vision. Now I'm using this road code that we did download when I did my code shopping for this island. This is going to be my main road code on this island, and I'm really excited to experiment with it because, to be honest, it's a little intimidating. There's a lot of like a lot of tile codes. Like, there's a lot that goes into this. And I even screwed up and made my like thing one too like long, so I had to fix my cliff. As you'll see, there's like a blank space right there, but you know what, it's all about trial and error. At the end of the day, you just kind of have to practice with it and fiddle with it. And that's essentially what I'm doing. What I really like about this path, it is quite versatile, and you do have the opportunity to really like make it your own with how you choose to place it. There's also a 9 tile version of it that is more of a soft edged path. As you can see, I downloaded it and included it as part of the road code. And I decided to download it because it makes like making more abandoned like roads kind of more convenient, I guess is the word I'd use. So I'm kind of just going around and filling up the road with some trees and stuff. I do a couple of like stunted trees and cliff trees and stuff like that. And essentially for this island, because it is a jungle island, I will be using as many different types of trees as I can. The only tree I don't think I'll be using is the cedar trees, just because I don't quite think that they go with my jungle-y theme, but I'll be using bamboo trees, hardwood trees, coconut trees, you know, all the trees, minus the cedar trees. As you can tell, my island is going to be set in fall, which typically isn't the time of year you typically see a jungle island, but I thought could be kind of fun because you have like all the different colors of the trees for the cedar trees or the hardwood trees and everything. I don't know, I just like the idea. So here I am replicating basically like what I did for the other highway on the right side. I do speed this part up and don't show you really the like creation of the road because I did it in the earlier part of the video, but I'm essentially doing the exact same thing over and over again. And because this is meant to be a broken, collapsed highway, I decided to have water in between this, and then I'm kind of like just connecting what I did at the entrance towards this area too, just to kind of make it seem a little bit more seamless, I guess. I'm not using the road code on my main entrance build right here. It's going to be used in the latter half of the video, but I kept this very natural and overgrown, but just using the water. It kind of seems as if like the road kind of like disappeared and the water kind of developed over time. And similarly to what Nina Tries did in her video, I'm using the Stonehenge item as kind of like the collapsed portion of the highway. I thought it looked really nice, and it just looks, it's a creative way to use that item. I've never used that item in any build myself, so it was fun to kind of experiment with it. But that's essentially what I did, and like I said, we're just replicating exactly what we did on the other side. And then this part of the highway will be extended to like a second tier, like actual cliff that I'll be doing later on, further to the right of my island. But for just today, we just did the rest of the collapsed highway. And then because I didn't know what to place right here, and I kind of still do wish I put it a little bit closer to my entrance, I decided to do an abandoned gas station. I was going to do either a gas station or a parking lot, but I've already done a parking lot entrance before. Because I wanted this to be a little bit more creative and a little bit more fancy, I decided to go with the abandoned gas station. I think it's a good like entrance area thing to have. I don't know, it's a cool fake building, kind of like dips my toes into how I want the fake buildings on this island to look like. And I'm essentially doing very similarly to what I did on my Trash Winter City island, which is using retro transportation stops and then making fake windows. out of some custom designs, and yeah. And this particular road code doesn't come with parking lot custom designs things, but I was able to make kind of like a parking lot ish thing with the road code using the white chalk designs that do come with the particular design here. And I decided to place the retro gas pumps here and just have the white lines kind of just indicate where like the different cars would go. And then I'm once again, like I said, I'm using the road code here. I didn't show my placement of it, but it was kind of fun to kind of experiment with a road code and use it as more of a, just a, like a flooring, I guess you could say. And then I'm just kind of filling in the space. I'll be using tons of barrels, pirate barrels, oil barrels on this island, just because I think they give a very rustic look. And I'm just kind of filling it in the best that I can. This is extremely close to my beach, which I'm not sure at this point if I'll be decorating my beaches on this island, but for right now, I'm quite happy with how far it is. Like, I think it's a decent like distance from the beach, but at the same time it is a little bit more difficult to work with. So I'm just kind of placing random items down that you'd kind of basically find at a gas station, I guess you could say. And as you can tell by my color scheme for this island, it's very neutral brown tones, and I'll probably be using like pops of yellow and green and possibly blue. I've come to realize that I think one of my favorite two colors to use for islands are blue and yellow. I've used them for quite a few themes so far, and they're just like, it's an extremely versatile color scheme to work with. So whether you're doing like more natural island or something more like kind of grayscale, I think it's a really nice color scheme to work with. And similarly to the right side where I put the gas station, I did have this very small space to the left of my entrance. This is really close to the left side of my map, like ending. And I didn't really want to put anything else too fancy over here, so I decided, you know what, we're gonna test my jungle making skills and just do a very, very simple jungle-y kind of overgrown area with a lot of trees. I do use a couple of additional items. I finally used the coconut trees, which I honestly forgot to use at the beginning of the build. And they're just kind of like keeping it really natural. I decided to use the giant vines on this island because I think they're really nice, and I am using the brown one and the green. I think green mixed in with all the more like warm tones and like the softer tones of the fall will be really nice. And then I'm also going to be filling in the area with some wheat fields, some termite mounds, some ruined pillars, and really just kind of filling it in as much as I can and making it feel very overgrown and very, I don't know, dense. I think the good word I would probably use for this area is very dense, because I want there to be a lot of very dense like vegetation areas on my island, hence the reason I'm using so many different variations of the trees. I'm also going to throw some shrubs as well. I'm going to experiment with different shrubs because there is no shrubs that'll be in season for the time of year I'm probably setting my DA, so I'm going to probably use a lot of shrubs that are a lot more softer brownish greens. And then for the flowers, I'm still experimenting, but I do know I really want to use the orange pansies, the yellow flowers, maybe of some flower type, green mums, maybe some black tulips. I'm kind of still experimenting with that color scheme, but I'm really loving the orange pansies. I think they bring a really nice pop of color with the orange of the leaves and the trees and everything. But once again, it's still like a little bit of an experiment to see what I like for the flowers on this island. Orange windflowers as well, as you can see me placing here, but it's kind of like just like a lot of trial and error. This is still a very new theme for me, nothing I've ever done before, so I'm just kind of, you know, experimenting with it, along with all of the additional like more natural items I'm placing down. I'm also going to be using some mushrooms as well as drop decor. I think the mushrooms give an overgrown, very, you know, like, I I don't know, jungly feel. And then the last thing I'm placing down essentially is a couple of the garden rock items, especially on these in-between areas for this water code, which I'm obsessed with. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier on in my voiceover, but if you haven't checked out my description, it has all of the custom designs I'm going to be using for this island linked down below if you'd like to check them out. Additionally, Nina tries this video for her version of this build will be listed in the description as well. I think hers is phenomenal and seriously a huge inspiration for literally making this build possible, because I never would have thought of anything like this myself. I like to think I managed to make it a little bit more my own with my own theme ideas, you know, kind of thrown in there. You never know. But anyway, we're getting towards the end of the video. I'm just kind of filling in the like highway build and adding a couple more, like, you know, just very overgrown elements with some more wheat fields and stuff. I will be using the wheat fields on this island, of course, probably my favorite item in game at this point. And in all of the colors, because I think the colors and the versatility of the wheat fields and all the different shades add a little bit more of a wildness to the color scheme. And I don't know, I really like it. So we're essentially coming towards the end of the build. I'm extremely happy with the way that this area turned out, and I definitely think it was a good starting off point for how I want this island to look. Tons of videos are going to be coming soon for this island, along with my other new island that's also going to be set in autumn. It is going to be a cozy fall town called Cedar, which I'm extremely excited for too. So basically I'll be doing 2 fall islands at once, which honestly, fall is my favorite time of year to decorate in games, so I'm not mad about it at all. But yeah, I quickly time traveled. I probably will be setting my DA to a foggy morning. So I found a foggy morning that I think I'm happy with. So without further ado, let's go check out the final build. Alright, that is everything for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I also really need to get more reactions because my character has none. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys!